About a year ago, right? I came here and did my first AM show. It was awesome, and you guys are like a really cool family. So this year, as soon as Leslie said that she was going to do, and she wanted to do an audiovisual thing, my brain's like, okay, I think I'll just get one of my songs, make a video for it, and we're like, no, too easy for me. And I'm like, all right, what can I do? So I decided to go less technology and create something that I think I can do like as a busking piece or whatever. The name of the piece is called Colette Bayou, and I'll put a little writing later to save like 8 minutes. Starting what I was going to do, I came across someone named Allison Knowles, and she was one of the mothers or grandmothers of Fluxus. And a long time ago, I used to do they were like we were talking about earlier, the snap poetry, the slam poetry and the word poetry. And then eventually I started running a small little group. And one of my rules for them was, stipulations for them, was they could do 3 pieces, but the first piece had to be something that they were inspired from. And one of the pieces that I saw that Allison Knowles did was about her shoes. Hence why I had shoes on the whole entire day versus cool socks. And these are about my shoes. These are my shoes. They were the first shoes I bought as a children's woman. They've been out of the closet with me for about 15 years. And coming to art and spaces and things in life, when you take off your shoes and the space becomes a temple. And music's always been a vehicle to ride through temples. So I take off my shoes to Allison Knowles, to all you all, and I say hi, thank you for coming. These are my shoes, the trouble we've been in, hiding from parents, hiding from being bullied, and just becoming me. These are my shoes. One of these days, these shoes will be able to walk farther, but for right now, these are my shoes. They're not my mom's shoes, my grandmother's shoes, and these are my shoes. I remember going to the store, feeling really, really afraid, trying these shoes on with 2 big, black, beautiful ladies this big. Later on that week, I got into a fight with one of them because I had to get heels for Rocky Horror Picture Show. And it was the last pair of heels on the show, on the wall. And I ended up winning because they said I was doing Rocky Horror Picture Show. She's like, oh, honey child, take those high heels. And they went to a cast member because they couldn't afford shoes. So these are my shoes. Thank you.
All right.
One thing I love about when you go to shows is the laughter and what have you. And growing up, just doing theater and being around theater people, we love audience participation because it breaks the wall. So this part I actually need all of you for a small part of it. So this piece is actually called I Know It's the Alphabet. Now, as a kid, we learned A is apple, B is ball, C is other words. So my first letter, and if you can say it with me, it would be amazing, is A. It's ah. One more time. Now, my next sound is going to be B for brain. Or O is phone. I decided to do another sound because a lot of people don't know what the old-fashioned hang-up phones were. So this is actually called booga. Booga. That's a tri-spin sound, right?
Booga.
No, a little bit louder.
Booga. Booga. Booga.
And okay, this is the sound that paper makes when you rip it up. And all of us in this room know Dan. He loves collecting forks, so I actually made one for him. I don't know if plastic forks make this sound, but I thought about this. This fork says doink. This is for Dan Reeves.
Doink, 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 doink.
And a lot of music today was very like fun and spooky. And this is actually a ghost seeing himself, and then the ghost is going. And the sound that UFOs make. Woo. And that's how 2001: Space Odyssey was actually done. And the last one is most pleasurable. This is the sound that a rocket ship or a vibrator would make. And those of you who play guitar love this sound. And also some of the ladies and some of the gentlemen. So this is the last sound. Let's keep going for a little bit. That's the one by Craftsman. And my last piece I'm going to work on, and I might do two of the same thing, maybe. You know when you go to thrift stores and you walk around and you see really, really bad art? Or it's good art, but it's bad art, and sometimes a parent says, you can't keep this anymore, or the husband or wife says, you really can't keep this up anymore. So I collect that sometimes. I take time and I collect it, because who knows what can be done with it, and some of it is actually cool. This is one of the pieces I got when I was in Fort Myers. Well, it's sitting backstage. And some kid actually took the time to make this, I'm thinking. It's very primitive, very cool. Joe actually said it's kind of like a game where you could do the cars. So maybe I'll do one of those one day. And then I was visiting my sister again on Fort Myers after I played a show a couple weeks ago. And we found these mice. And my sister was like, oh my God, that'll be great when you do your puppet shows. And she decided, so I got 3 mice, and they're my stagehands. So one's actually holding a noisy thing, one's actually holding Colette Bayou, and eventually one will be holding this. And then we were talking, and then I always loved the case that Hal Harmon found. And I found one the same size. It's like, yes. Everything came together like at the same thrift store. It was awesome. So I decided to call this segment Random Paintings. Because you never know when you're going to get. They're just completely random. And they're sometimes really cool paintings, and sometimes they just really suck. But even really sucky art can be made into really good art. And really good art sometimes really sucks. So. Excuse me. This is called Random Paintings. Now, when you arrived today, I actually gave you guys a bag. And in the bag, there's actually stuff to play with. Because sometimes when you go to a show, especially shows that we all do, you get this for a while. That's really cool. What'd you buy? Oh man, well, that's really cool. We get CDs. And that happens like for your whole set. Or a couple weeks ago, I was playing a show and Joe was there and hear it. Somebody comes up to me while I'm trying to count for my loop station. Hi, hi, hi. It's like, give me 1 second. Hi, how you doing? And so I love audience participation. One, because if I get boring, you guys are having fun. And if I'm having fun, then you guys are having more fun. So in your bags, some of you got like random things like a balloon, a UFO, an airplane, UFO. There might be a blimp hanging out here somewhere. So yeah, so during this last piece, if you hear something I'm saying, or you hear a sound effect, feel free to have fun. That's your thing. That's totally part of it. So one day, it was a beautiful spring day. I don't know why it's a spring day, but usually things always begin in spring. Except for like Halloween stories, because it's always a dark and stormy night. It's like a big, nice, bright, sunny day, but this actually began on an early spring night. And there was these 2 balloons. They were just taking their time, doing things that balloons do, banging into each other, having balloon sex, trying to make other balloons, just floating around. Some environmentalists were like really upset because the balloons would probably bother sea turtles, and so on. So these little balloons were actually flying around. Then all of a sudden, one of the other balloons was like, I'm gonna leave you because you're strange and really weird and you stink. And it was okay, because it's a balloon. And so it went floating over and went over here to hang out. Myself. And then the other balloon, because it was really lonely, decided that it could only do the thing that a balloon by itself could ever do, is go up. And it just fizzle. And there was a sea turtle, and the sea turtle got it, but they loved it because I made it into a sound instrument. So the other one went this way. And then as things went along, and people were sad about the balloon dying. Don't worry, no extra balloons were actually hurt in this event. We actually go towards an airport. And in the airport, different, there's always like, people are like, when my dad was alive, he would always look up when we went to Tampa Airport, like, oh my God, look at the really cool planes. And he always wanted to get out of the car because he was Air Force. And he would always trip out when the planes went over. Did it fall out? Yes, man. So anyway, technology. So my dad one time was really cool. This is actually a side commercial. When having technical difficulties with one old-fashioned tape recorder. Yeah, we were driving through Tampa, and he's like, "Pull over, planes!" And he just lay there, and he just totally tripped out that all these amazing planes were happening. And he took pictures, and then he went home, and my mom said, "Did you want to go on the airstrip?" I'm like, "No, Mom, you were right near the airstrip." But, Now sometimes when you're on an airplane and weird things happen, they don't tell you why they're really happening because they think they'll scare everybody. So what happened this one day, while the planes were flying, this beautiful craft comes out of nowhere. Well, when that craft came, like, has anybody seen 2001 Space Odyssey? A question is going to be another craft. Or at the beginning, we were sounding like monkeys. Same idea. Then it sounded the first alien came out. And the alien's like scared because it started like 13 people, and it's like, why are you guys looking at me? What did I do? Nothing. I lost my mama. So this is how I went around. And things get all nice and quiet. The tower stood doing their tower business because they were really afraid because they saw a blip come over. And that's not a blip this big. They remember back to literally 2000 Space Odyssey. All of a sudden, but they hear, bring on the funk. It's the mothership. Bring on the funk. Bring on the funk. Bring on that funk. Oh, bring on. Get funky with it. 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 And just like the balloons, these scratches came out.